All right, so the real estate market is about to get wicked, and if you notice, a couple months ago, a year ago, you saw all these people on YouTube. The housing market's going to crash. The housing market's going to crash. Now you don't really even see a lot of that stuff anymore. It's gone out of style. The market didn't crash. The market hasn't crashed, and the market is not going to crash. I've been the only person on here saying that the market is not going to crash. It is going to continue to go up. And the reason why I know these things is because the federal government produces to the public. Of course, we know people don't read these intelligence reports that tells you what's going to happen before it happens. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying that it's going to get wicked, because the average person that wants to get into real estate, whether that's buying a home, being an investor, whatever it is royally fucked. That's just the way it is. And this, in the report, I put a link in the description, forecasted this years ago. They knew that this was going to happen. And we're nowhere near a housing crash, a housing bubble. I know the housing bubble boys were saying that, but unfortunately, you all were lied to, because it's easy money on YouTube, right? So what's going to end up happening is, okay, right now, so what's going to end up happening is Q1 of 2024, the Fed is going to switch their stance on monetary policy, and it's going to cause the mortgage rates to come down. Okay, everybody's complaining housing prices are too high, mortgage rates are too high. Okay, well, we'll bring the mortgage rates down, and guess what happens? Guess what's the outcome of that? The rise in prices. Okay, it is going to continue to go up. We are at a new bottom. Okay, this is as cheap as real estate is going to get in the majority of areas. Now, I know I'm going to have people that are going to say it's not sustainable, but again, this is the new bottom. Okay, this is where we are in real estate. And so what's going to happen is the people that have purchased homes in the last year or two, and if they want to upgrade, they're just going to roll their equity over into the next property. It's going to be a lot easier, a lot more it's going to be less expensive and inexpensive for them to do that, right? So they're not going to have to come out of pocket with these large down payments. Once Q1 hits and interest rates slightly come down and prices accelerate again, well, their homes are going to go up in value. And then they can put their homes on the market, get top dollar, and then roll that equity into the next property. Okay, so we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see people getting outbid. We're going to see bidding wars. We in some parts of the United States, we're still having bidding wars. But it's going to accelerate once again, Q1, Q2 of next year. It's going to happen again. Okay, we're at the new bottom right now. And it's wicked because a lot of people are going to get shifted down. Yeah, interest rates drop, but once prices rise, and then once you include your debt to income ratio, and how much money you make in these other factors that when it comes to buying a home, most people are going to get shifted down, if not completely pushed out of the housing market. And I try to have this conversation with a lot of different buyers that I work with from time to time. Is like, everybody's reason for buying a house is different. You have some people that want to build wealth. You have some people that just want to have somewhere to live for the next 30 years and pass the property on to their son or their daughter. Everybody's idea or motivation for what they want to do when buying a home is totally different than the other person. So I always ask people their motivations. But for me, my whole purpose of buying a home, I wanted to move my family into a home, but it was to be able to get in the game and get started, right? So my first house my first home may not have been the favorable one, but it got me in the door. And then from there, I was able to, transition up into the next phases, right? But a lot of people are missing that point, and they're going to get pushed out of the market because they're too focused on the right now. They want everything to be perfect, or this type of this type of house, marble this, granite that. And instead of working their way up to it, what's happening is they're chasing a ball. It's almost like a cat or a dog chasing its tail, and they'll never be able to catch that because they're not getting into the game. And then level 1, level 2, level 3, like it's levels to the game. Most people are trying to jump level 1 to level 10. But what's going to happen is that goalpost is going to keep moving. It's going to keep moving, and they're chasing it because the market is completely changing. Okay, and one of the easiest ways is to get in what you can afford, Let the equity grow. Once the prices accelerate, then just roll that equity into the next house, next home. That's a lot easier to do, to move up, unless you have a really, really high income, a large down payment, unless you have the cash to put down to be able to compete with some of these people in these multiple offer situations. I'm telling you, it's going to be just like the pandemic next year. Once the rates slightly come down, you're going to have a whole bunch of buyers coming in. You're going to have people that are going to sell their homes. They're going to get over the value or at the value, above the value, and they're going to roll that equity into the next home. And this is going to cause the market to accelerate even more. I have a crystal ball. Like Miss Cleo, call me now. I've been doing this for a long time. And like I said, I read the intelligence reports. This stuff is available for everyone to read. We are at the new bottom. And these things talk about that the average, American, the average salary, the average, home buyer, the majority of them are royally fucked. And it's a wicked game. And that's just real.